A quick statement. One, really proud of our team tonight. Was a great character win for us. Was not pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but we got great play out of our offense. We got great play from our defense when we needed it most. And then our special teams came through as well. And so great complimentary win where I thought all three phases contributed to the win. We had some great contributions from individual. Jake Funk did a great job in the run game, a guy that's been around here and been through a lot. Obviously, Leah bounced back from last week's game and showed why we picked him to be our starter by playing at a really high level. And, was really happy with the way our kicker, Joe Petrino, came through with the big long kick there at the end. So great team win, team victory. We'll enjoy it for the next 48 hours, and then we'll get back in here and get to work on in preparation for our next game.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Lila for our first question. Lila? All right.
Sorry, my sound isn't working, so I'm hoping you can hear me.
We could hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. So I guess just in terms of the defense being able to turn around their performance after struggling for most of the game, what stood out to you most about what they were able to do, especially in that fourth quarter?
Well, I think it's the energy level that they played with. I thought early in the game we got caught to where I didn't feel like we played with the intensity or the energy level that was going to be necessary. We knew that this was going to be a fist fight for us. Minnesota doesn't try to hide what they do. They want to run the football, and they were able to do that earlier in the game. And, it was really frustrating for us because on the offensive side of the ball, I thought we were playing really well. And if we could get the ball back, we'd be able to continue to move the ball because of how we played. But as I said before, our defense kept banging away. They kept fighting. They kept playing hard, rotated a bunch of guys in there. And we got some stops when we needed them most there late in the game. And I thought the energy level changed, as they continued to have a little success late in the game with getting off the field. I saw the momentum and the energy pick up on that side of the ball. And I think it was more effort and energy than it was anything different because we outnumbered the box all game long from early in the first quarter to the end. And we just got off blocks and made plays.
And specifically with that, Chance had, some really big stops on situations to make Minnesota punt the ball. Just how crucial has he been for the team this season, both in this game and last game as well?
Yeah, Chance is a guy that's played a lot of football during his time here, and he's a guy that's really grown into a leadership role for our team, not just on defense. One of our hardest workers, a guy that puts the time into understanding what we want to do, and he's playing at a high level and bringing people along with him. So it's great to see that type of contribution from Chance and consistent. I mean, last week was one of the few bright spots we had on defense, and then this week following it up, making plays, especially when we needed them most late in the game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll go to Emily next.
Hi, Mike. How would you describe Talia's performance, specifically with kind of how he was able to navigate being down and then also just evading pressure and making decisions in those moments throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, for us and those that have been in this building and have seen the way he's practiced since he's been here, not surprised at what we saw on film. I think last week was more of a surprise for us than what we saw this week because these are the same type of plays and throws and the energy that he has brought to the table, which is why he earned the position. So it was great to see him bounce back. Like I say, I don't think he did anything differently in his preparation because he's a guy that's always around the building. He's a guy that's always putting the extra time in. But I think what you guys saw is what we saw out of him all camp long. And, it's great for him to be able to bounce back and do that here at home in the shell and play at a really high level when we needed him to do it most.
We'll go to Andy Koska.
Hey, Coach, hope you can hear me. how big was Jake Funk tonight, and just giving Tayulia kind of another option of he can run the ball and they don't have to pass as much, a little less pressure maybe.
Yeah, Jake is a guy that, as I said, he's been around here a long time, and it's great to be able to get this type of contribution from him. As I've said before, I've always been a big Jake Funk fan. Here's a guy that all-time leading rusher in the state of Maryland, a local guy right here from the crib, and he's healthy. His leadership, he brings it every day in practice, and it's great to have that ability to have a guy like him here with a young team. He's one of the few older guys that we have in our program, and he's doing a tremendous job with leadership. It was great to see the type of contribution he made today in the running game. He did the same thing for us last week when he had the opportunities. He made plays for us early in the game, and obviously it was a good bounce-back game for us on the offensive side of the ball. To be able to score points and execute our offense and do it with balance. I think we threw for 3 and we ran for over 2 something. So, balance is what we want to be, and it doesn't mean 50% run, 50% pass. It means being able to efficiently do both. And today we were able to do that on offense.
Just to follow up, it seemed like his pass blocking also in a couple of situations came up really big. Just how pivotal was that he could pick up a free blitzer?
Yeah, he's a 3-down back for us. He's a guy that you want in the game on 3rd down from a protection standpoint. He's a guy that catches the ball well out of the backfield. And then obviously in the running game, we saw him in the open field and get some tough yardage when we needed it most. So, again, he's one of those guys that, can play on all 3 downs for us. We don't have to substitute him. Smart, tough, and reliable. And, it's great to see him finally be able to make the type of contribution he made today. He's been around here a long time, and I know he's waited his turn, and he's healthy. So I was happy for Jake.
Go to Ed Lee.
Mike, as thrilling as this win was, how concerned are you about the number of penalties and turnovers?
Very concerning. For us, the first statements I made as we started our preparation for the season was our season would be contingent upon discipline by our team, and just on the field, but also with COVID and the protocols off the field. And, it's an Achilles heel. You're not going to win a lot of games when you have the type of penalties and the turnovers that we have. And, we got to continue to work through these things. We got to continue to coach these young players, understand the importance of protecting the football on offense. And then, the penalties, which to me, I don't have a much problem with penalties that you're making during the course of a play, but the bonehead, unsportsmanlikes and talking to the other team and late hits and those type of things won't be tolerated, and we got to get it cleaned up. And it starts with me making sure that we're enforcing that we play good, smart, clean football.
We'll go to Alif Kareem next.
Hey, Coach, hope you can hear me.
I can hear you, Alif.
Coach, how great is this win in terms of the confidence boost it gives to your younger guys, and especially picking this up at home, knowing you have an equally tougher opponent next week?
Yeah, it feels good to get a win because, one, these players, they have been through so much, since March 12th. When you just think back when we left here right before spring break and just our world's changed. And with all the things and adversity that this team has faced and our community has faced, it's great and rewarding to have them be able to feel what success is like. And, we talked about us being really close to where we want to be. And I think the difference of where we are and where we wanted to be was somewhere in the middle was having action, doing the work necessary. Somebody had to step up, make a play to kind of ignite us. And we had a bunch of people really step up tonight. And again, in all 3 phases, especially when we needed it most. So great team win. Proud of this team. It's a character win for us, and it's one hopefully we can use to build upon.
Go to Jacob Steinberg.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jacob, just barely.
So you talked about earlier just what a big win this was for the team, but with all the momentum swings throughout and the different fluctuations of emotion, what did you learn most about your team tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing I learned is, like a parent, you can preach till you blue in your face to your kids, and you never know if they're hearing you or listening to you. And one of the things we've talked about from the day I got hired here, we weren't going to be a scoreboard watching team. We're not going to be a front running team. We're going to play to a standard, and that standard is to give great effort on every play. And then when that play is over, erase it and play the next play. That's the way we live day to day, and that's how we dealt with COVID. And I think you saw that today out of this team, in that not one time did they flinch when we were down 17 in the fourth quarter. Not one time did we get overly hyped when we were up 21-7 in the first quarter. We just kept playing, and we preach that to our team, that we're not going to be a team that watches the scoreboard. We're going to play to a standard. We're going to play with the effort and the habits and behaviors necessary to win. And if you do those things, the winning takes care of itself. So what I learned most is that they're listening, because I didn't see us flinch when we were down. I didn't see us get overly, giddy and excited when we were up. And that's the type of team we're going to have to be.
Just a quick follow-up. How satisfying is that for you and your staff? How satisfying is that for you and your staff to know that everything that you've been preaching this offseason came to fruition tonight in a win?
I mean, like I said, as a parent, when your kids regurgitate the things that you've said to them when raising them, and to see our guys fight, and to see them, again, like I said, never flinch during the course of this game, some critical stops at critical times, fought through adversity with penalties, and again, a lot of things we got to get cleaned up, and I can't wait to get in, enjoy tonight, and get in and start getting this stuff corrected. Like I said, we got a young team. 21st year players played last week. I'm sure we played quite a few of those guys today in critical situations. And so with every game and with every rep, we're building the toolbox of experience that we're going to hopefully be able to lean on as we continue to play in a really tough Big Ten schedule that's coming up.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
We'll have Jake Funk here in a second. If you have a question for Jake, please send me a chat so we could get started. I know a lot of you are on deadline. Just to give you all a heads up, after Jake, we'll have Talia and then Lautez Rogers.